Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning into the Gamer Guild podcast, your one-stop shop for all things in the wide world of video games. I'm your co-host, Cody Robertson.
And I'm your co-host, Noah Bowers. This week, we get some news from PlayStation and, unfortunately, some more layoffs.
That's right. We'll cover all this and more right here on the Gamer Guild podcast. But first, please welcome this week's guest, an Augusta University junior communication major, Aryle McCutcheon. Aryle, thanks so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Awesome. Thanks for coming. Well, Aryle, the first question we like to ask all of our guests here on the Gamer Guild podcast is, what is your favorite video game and why?
I feel like I'm going to be judged, but my favorite video game is definitely Let's Go Pikachu.
Wow.
That's
pretty wild. Okay.
I like how I really like Nintendo, and I like the Switch, and it's just a really fun game. And I know I'm going to be judged because it's not technically like a game, but
Sure
it's colorful and fun, and I really like it, and I will not take judgments.
Can you kind of describe the difference between Let's Go and a normal Pokemon game a little bit?
It's less fighting. It's like less fighting and like having to like make your character like as big and buff as possible, and more just finding really cute Pokemon, which is what I enjoy more.
Nice. So. Fun, yeah.
That's got to be a first.
Yeah,
we have not had a Let's Go Pikachu, but I love that. That's such a deep cut.
Yeah, that's weird. Nice. I told you I have a Gyarados tattoo. There it is right there. Bada boom, red Gyarados.
Sick.
Yep. Gold's probably my favorite. A fun fact, never actually finished a Pokemon game in my life. I've never become a Pokemon master. So, you know.
You got to catch them all.
Yeah, I got to. But it takes a long time. And it's time that I just don't have. So
I've actually never played a Pokemon game.
Whoa.
Except for Pokemon Go. But that doesn't count.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
Mobile games don't count.
It is pretty fun, but it doesn't count.
I thought I was talking to gamers here.
I'm sorry.
Never played Pokemon?
I didn't grow up with Nintendo handhelds, so I couldn't play them.
Interesting.
Wow.
Now, here's the deal, Aryle. If you were going to recommend a Pokemon game to
here we go.
over here as a first timer, which one would you go with?
What am I starting
Would
with?
you go with Let's Go or something? Or like a real, or quote unquote real Pokemon game?
It depends. Do you want to catch really cute Pokemon, or do you want to be more of like getting
want to be a master?
Pokemon buff?
Well, the cute Pokemons are also in the normal Pokemon games.
That's
right?
true.
Yes, but they're not as it's not much more of like you're
don't dog fighting them.
Yeah.
You're in the Pokemon games.
You're more hurting them.
Okay. What are the morals in that and the implications of that in the world?
Yeah, very.
Yeah.
We tend not to think about it.
Okay.
They're
don't we trap
they're a
them
little
in
bit like your shirt. So.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
If I was going to suggest a game, it would be Let's Go Pikachu.
Let's Go
Or
Pikachu.
Let's Go Eevee, which is the same game, just with Eevee as a star.
No, you had to play Eevee because you'd be like the Gary to her Ash. So there you go.
Is that the show reference?
He doesn't even understand. He doesn't even get it. Oh my god!
I didn't watch it. I missed the
I'm dying on
Pokemon
the
train.
inside.
Now, okay, this might not be his fault because we're a little bit older and we probably grew up with the anime.
True.
So, all right, it's okay. No,
the
it's
anime
okay.
was running when I was going on Cartoon Network.
And then you outed yourself. Yeah, I gave you an out. And
I'm
then
sorry.
You know
I'm
what?
an honest person.
This is the last time I ever
extended the
helped you.
olive branch, and you didn't take it.
I'm sorry.
Nerd. All right, man. You know, if I were to recommend a Pokemon, it would probably be Gold because you get 2 games in one.
That's solid.
Because in Gold, you when you're done with Gold, you know, you get I can't remember what it's called, Kanto or Johto. I get them confused all the time. But you finish the first region, and then you get a whole other second region. That's the same as the first game. So it's basically like having Red, and then also having Gold. So. There you go.
Okay.
I would recommend that one. But of course the remakes, you know, so Heart Gold, Soul Silver. There you go. It's pretty easy to get them on PC, but you didn't hear it from me, guys. You didn't hear it from me. But it's pretty easy to get Pokemon games on PC. Nintendo doesn't know. Ooh, be careful.
It doesn't know what hurt them. You know?
Yeah. Well, don't tell them that. Yeah. All right. Good answer, Aryle. Good to have you here. Thanks for being here. Awesome Pokemon stuff. Love to have Pokemon fans. Love Pokemon here.
I love Pokemon. So.
Awesome. Good stuff. Got to catch them all. And then one day I'll finish a Pokemon game and I'll tell you, I'll run after you. I'm like, I just finished it. And then you'll judge me for the choice that I made on which game. And you'll be like,
20 years from now, I'll get a random text and be like, I caught them all.
I got him. I finally got him. Yep. It'll be me. And then they'll come out with like 300 more because it'll be a new generation. I'm like, oh no, got to start over. Yeah. Well, all right, Ariel. Thanks for coming. Good to have you.
Happy
all right.
to be here.
Let's get into the new releases that came out this week. First, big one that I know you were excited about, Noah. Civilization 7. It is the newest Civilization game, comes from Firaxis Games. Did it drop the Sid Meier tag on this one? I think it might have.
No, it still has
It's still Sid Meier's Civilization 7? Okay, cool. So Sid Meier's Civilization 7, technically. Firaxis Games made this bad boy. It's a $70 video game, and it is on everything, including last-gen systems. So even if you're a little bit behind, you get the PS4, Xbox One, you can still play it. It's on the Switch, too. So there you go. And, of course, on PC and all next-gen systems as well. It's got an 80 on Metacritic, so reviewing pretty well. It's the newest in the Sid Meier Civ series, and Noah, I know you're a big fan. So without further ado, let's get into it. What do you think? I know you got a lot of thoughts.
Not only is it on everything, like we mentioned, they also announced, I don't know if you saw this, Ariel, that it's coming onto VR.
Whoa.
Full VR support on Meta, and I think whatever the other one is. What else is?
It's the Meta Quest 3, and then like Oculus Rift isn't a thing ananymore, right?
That's Meta. Yeah,
that's Meta now. That's right.
What was the Steam HTC Vive?
Whatever it was. I don't know. I don't know
if that's still being supported, but
the PSVR 2.
They announced that it's full VR support, and they're like dropping that as well. So it's on literally everything. Not sure why we have a VR version of Civilization,
of the money.
But we'll get into that. First, I want to ask Ariel, have you played any of the Civilization games? I
have not. So the fact that there's 7 of them that I haven't played is insane.
Oh, there's more. There's more than that.
I was like, there's 7? And I've never heard of a singular one. So tell me about it.
It's a niche genre. So it's part of a genre called 4X games, where you it's basically a turn-based strategy game where you control an empire or kingdom, and you grow and you conquer or explore or evolve your civilization into whatever you want it to be. There's different win conditions, like with science victory or just conquest. Either you land on another star, or you conquer the entire world, or you make everybody friends, or you spread your religion. There's a lot of different ways to win the game. Super addicting. Highly recommend people check it out because it's one of my favorite genres of games just in general. And Civilization was kind of the one that really made it popular. The reason why there's 7, the first one came out in like the 90s. I think like 98 or something like that.
Yeah.
So they're old. The one before this game, Civilization 6, came out in, I think, 2018 or 2016. Yeah. So it's been a long time waiting for Civ 7. And now it's here, and I have a lot of thoughts. I was very excited about this game, as you know from previous episodes. I have probably close to thousands of hours in Civilization 6 already. It's probably my favorite of the series, which is going to be a hot take for some people. But maybe not after this game released.
Ooh.
So they always try and switch up the game when it drops. Even though it's the same brand, same name, they try and iterate it, add new features, try and make it up to date with what gamers want nowadays. And so they went a little bit of a different direction in this title in Civ 7. I have not purchased this myself. It's currently $70. I think you could have pre-ordered it for $100 or $120 to play it 5 days early. Already not a big fan of those marketing practices already, because it's kind of just
remember when games were $40?
I know.
Yeah, right?
So I've not purchased it, but I've watched hours of gameplay already, and I've read many reviews. One glaring thing that strikes me so far, just from looking at it, is this is probably, and I'm not exaggerating, this is probably the worst user interface I've ever seen released on a game on drop in probably my entire life of existing.
Whoa.
That's a strong stance.
It's so bad. It's so bad. Any redeeming factor that might make me want to purchase this game, I will put on the back burner until that is resolved. Because this is a game that relies so much on information being displayed to the player because each turn you have to make a lot of different decisions, which will impact how you win the game in future turns. So by moving units, choosing different government policies, choosing what to build or produce in your cities, where to go, where to move your units, all of that are things that you have to do every turn, and you get more and more things to do every turn because you build more, you explore more, you meet new people. And the way that the unit, I don't know how it got to this point. This has been in development for like 5 years. It looks like it's a placeholder and it dropped, and now they're like, okay, we'll just fix it later. But this is a game that, like, if you don't know what's going on, if you don't have the correct information, it's very, very difficult. It completely ruins the user experience. And Civ 6, the reason why I don't understand is because Civ 6 had a beautiful user interface. It color-coded everything, so you knew all the data. The buildings and tiles would give you information just by looking at them. You didn't have to go in through menus. This, I don't know if it's because they wanted to gear it towards consoles or towards the VR game that we talked about before, but it is so abysmal, so rudimentary, elementary. I mean, there's no way for me to describe it other than I hope we can put some clips on or some video so that people can understand. I mean, it is so bad. The font choices are wrong. There's gray transparency. It looks like Windows 11 overlaid on top of a mobile version of Civilization 7.
Whoa.
I mean, it's horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. Not to mention some...
So am I looking at the right thing here?
Yes.
Okay. I mean...
Well, a little bit.
Okay.
You have to see it in action, I think.
Okay,
Screenshots don't do
sure,
it justice.
sure.
This is also, that's atrocious.
Sure.
You have to hover over everything to get any sort of information.
I'm not having a problem with it, but it's because of these static shots, I bet. And you know what I mean? I'm not having to use it.
Normally, one session of game in like a Civilization game is, you're usually sitting there for at least, I would say, an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah,
if you're getting good
sure.
enjoyment out of it. You can go like 4 to 6 hours at a time just playing that game. And if the game looks like a gray slob that is not intuitive, like, what are all these icons?
Yeah, okay. I can see what you're saying with they're going for console, they're going for VR.
Yes. Now,
they're definitely console-fying it a little bit.
There's just so much wasted space.
Okay, it's because they want people to use joysticks instead of a mouse.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, okay. I can see that.
But this was a PC game. It was a PC title that's only recently, I think Civ 6, was the first one to even have console ports. So a lot of the design functionality of the genre lends itself to PC gaming just in general. There's no keyboard shortcuts. There's no
for a game that was originally PC.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's now.
It's like a PC, it's like a PC like hallmark.
Yes.
It's crazy.
I mean, it is such a step back. I'm so surprised. I'm so surprised. It's like they went back 5 years. 10 years in the past. It looks like it was a console exclusive that they then ported over onto PC.
Wow.
It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. They've already announced multiple patches and updates. They've already stopped saying that all future updates will not be dropping on console because they're just going to try and focus on PC to kind of recover. And
that's right. Yeah.
all of this is because it just takes longer to push it through on the console stores because you have to get it approved by Sony or Xbox. Whereas on PC, you can kind of just freely update it. So I would recommend for people that are wanting to play this game, maybe give it a couple months, let some updates drop. They've also padlocked some of the, classic Civilization leaders that are, present in a lot of the other games or even Civilization empires like the British Empire. That's all going to be locked behind DLC now.
Oof.
It drops with a pretty significant roster of people right now. They look a little weak, if I'm being honest, not as flavorful or exciting as some of the other releases, but that's because it looks like they're going to be dropping a lot of heroes and empires throughout DLC throughout the course of a year, kind of like a live service game. Take that with you will. They will not be free updates. They will be paid probably $20 updates per drop.
So if they're dropping all these patches, the VR version's got to be trash. Because VR is already not like amazing yet, so... No.
And for a company that doesn't make VR games, I don't know if they're outsourcing it.
Rough.
It's really strange. Don't know why they went this direction. They showed some clips of the VR. I don't think VR has dropped. I think they just announced it and it's dropping in like a couple months. But usually on a Civ game, you have like the whole map laid out in front of you and you can scroll and zoom in and all this stuff. But on the VR, it looks like you have just like a small circle of the hex. By the way, it's a hexagonal map. If you ever look at it, it's a top-down view, hexagonal map. So this is like, it's a circle with hexagons in there. So it only gives you like maybe 9 or 12 tiles at a time.
Right.
Versus on a PC when you can have like a lot of the map shown to you at the same time. I don't know. It's just really strange, really disappointing because I was really looking forward to this game. I'm such a huge fan of the franchise, but this has been a very disappointing launch. I don't think it's a failure because they've kind of experienced similar things with Civ 5 and Civ 6 where it dropped. There was some, franchise backlash from like the devoted fans were like, this is different. But this is not like different. This is like, it's trash and they need to fix it. Now, there are some gameplay design changes that I haven't even gotten into because I don't really want to talk on them before I can play them. And I'm not going to play this game until that user interface is fixed. I mean, it's bad.
And that's that.
And that's that. That's all I have to say about that. You can look it up on YouTube, and we'll post some examples as well. But there's plenty of reviews out there going into detail on why the shortcomings of it, why it's lackluster, how it was already in a really good spot in the previous game. So, yeah.
There you go.
Right.
Civ 7. I knew you had a lot of thoughts on that.
I did.
So I'm glad you had a chance. You feel better? Feel a little better?
Breathe? Do you need to breathe a minute?
I do.
Okay.
I need to play the game. But I can't.
Yeah.
I'm not going to play
Well,
Well,
Civ
not drop
game.
70 on it. Yeah, there you go.
Not at all.
Yeah. Well, that's Civilization 7. Ariel, any interest in a Civ game at all? Are you a strategy person in
Not
any way?
after that.
Yeah, not that.
The only thing that I was kind of interested in is that they changed the narrator to the person who played Brienne of Tarth in Game of Thrones. I
Yes.
don't know who that actress is actually named.
And Lucifer Morningstar in The Sandman.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I love Lucifer Morningstar. But once I did some
Gwendolyn
research before
Christie.
I came on here.
Nice.
Before I came on here, I was like, that actually sounds kind of cool because you can have like any kind of world leader, like Teddy Roosevelt. Like,
Well, actually, Teddy Roosevelt's not in the game. It was in Civ 6. So if anybody is wanting to get introduced to the franchise, I think Civ 6 is a great starting point. You got Gandhi, Queen Elizabeth, Teddy Roosevelt, Abraham Lincoln. There's a lot. I mean, there's like 30-something people in there. Genghis Khan, both his Mongolian version and Chinese Empire version.
Okay.
Really cool stuff. Really interesting flavor.
but after this, I'm a little hesitant now. So I
Yeah.
think I'm gonna wait until a couple months.
Yeah, there you go.
just to make sure I'm not disappointed.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, she's a great narrator, by the way. I love
good.
her work and pretty much all the creative stuff she's done. The narrator for the previous game was Sean Bean.
Oh, nice.
Who was from Lord of the Rings.
Oh, got
also
it.
Game of
Okay.
Thrones. He was, what's his name?
Ned Stark.
Ned Stark.
Oh,
Yeah.
no. Okay.
Yeah.
I feel so silly not knowing that.
It's okay. It was a long time ago. But yeah, he was the narrator in Civ 6. Does a great job.
Oh, yeah, it's Ned Stark.
I mean,
Yeah.
come on. Awesome. So yeah, it's hit or miss, but some people are still enjoying it, still finding time. There's another game I'd recommend as well called Humankind. It's another version of a 4X game. Does some design things different. A lot of the ways that the game progresses in Civ 7 was pretty much ripped directly from Humankind. Smaller title, not as big support, so not a lot of people know about it. But yeah, it used to be you would play from like 2000 BC to like the future, all in one go as your civilization. Now you choose a leader, and as you progress through history, there's 3 different major ages, and each age the map like resets basically, and you choose a new empire,
Whoa.
but
Oh, that's
keep
cool.
your leader. Humankind did a similar thing where like you create your own leader, like you create your own character basically, and that's like your leader. And then as you progress through history, you stay the same leader. And you have to do certain achievements, like historical achievements, either explore, grow to a certain population, find something, whatever. And then you can choose to evolve into a new civilization or stay as the same civilization. If you stay as the same, you'll upgrade like the same bonuses that you've been getting, or you could switch to a new one and kind of like change your play style as you progress through history. So this is kind of trying to do a similar thing, but you don't have the option of staying the same. I think you have to choose new civilizations each new age.
You have to discover the oil, no matter what. You have to.
So, yeah, it's strange. Anyways, that's my rant about it. We don't
There
have to
you
stay too long on it.
And a rant it was.
A rant.
Boy, oh boy.
It was.
That's what we're here for. That's
It
what we're here
was.
for. You know.
It hit close to home.
Yeah, well, there you go. Well, that's Civilization 7 from Firaxis Games. $70 video game. It's on everything, like I said. Maybe wait a couple months, like Noah said. I don't see it going on sale because it's a Civ game and it's just now released. So,
the other ones usually go on sale for like $5 for all 5 of them or all 6
5
of
to
them.
70 is a really big jump.
Yeah, it is.
That's true.
It is.
True. Yeah. But so are all the years that the game came out. So that too. Yeah. Well, there you go. Civilization 7. It's the new Civ game. So, if you're a fan of that, you already kind of know who you are. So check it out if you're into that. All right. There's one more kind of big game that came out this week that I'd like to talk about. Came out today, Tomb Raider 4 through 6 Remastered. It's by Aspire Media. It's a $30 video game. That is also out on everything, every single console and PC. Wow. It's a remastered compilation of Tomb Raider The Last Revelation, Tomb Raider Chronicles, and Tomb Raider Angel of Darkness. So 4 through 6. Aspire released Tomb Raider 1 through 3 already, like a remastered compilation of the first 3 Tomb Raider games. Reviewed pretty well. People seem to really like it. I'm not a big Tomb Raider guy. Either of you guys Tomb Raider people at all?
I played the older ones. I haven't played any of the remasters and obviously the new one that dropped. But what a lot of I've heard is that it keeps it to its core. Like it's very, it still feels like Tomb Raider, but it has all of these new like great things. And so I think that's pretty cool because it's a staple of the time, in my opinion. So.
Yeah, it's definitely, if you've ever played or watched Tomb Raider gameplay, you know how weird and finicky the controls are in that game. It's pretty wild looking to watch. But yeah, so hopefully a couple of updates to the controls on this one. I've heard from the first Tomb Raider 1 through 3 remastered. That's kind of what they were updating. Just, the graphics kind of update the controls just a little bit to make it a little less finicky than it was. Because, back in those times, you really had to get your platforming correct and exact or else you would be donezo.
It was unforgiving.
It was. Sure. It was. Yep. But any interest in Tomb Raider 4 through 6? I'm not a big Tomb Raider guy, so probably a skip, but there you go. It's there if you want it.
I think it's great for fans of the franchise to remaster. I mean, 4 through 6, now you get the, basically all 1 through 6 you are available now. And for only $30, I mean, that's
a steal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's showing that this is kind of a labor of, keeping it up to date so that if people are
feels like it's for the fans.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Rather than trying to just get another cash grab.
Yeah, gee. We've never talked about that before.
Never.
Do that.
But never.
Well, that's Tomb Raider. No, let's talk about the new Tomb Raiders. Have y'all played the new Tomb Raider games? I haven't.
Is that the Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider?
The reboot ones?
I have not.
Yeah. We haven't seen anything for the rebooted series lately. And so I'm a little curious if we're going to see something for the new one.
Probably not.
Really?
But I know they're making a series on Amazon Prime.
That's true. They sure are.
Hopefully it was better than the movie.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
No,
which ones?
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fair enough.
You got a point. Yeah.
I believe the person who wrote, I'm forgetting her name, Phoebe Waller-Bridge, I believe is her name, the one who wrote and directed Fleabag, or wrote and starred in Fleabag on Amazon Prime. She's going to be writing the series for Tomb Raider.
Okay.
She's a comedy writer, so
yeah,
interesting. But she's a really talented comedy writer, so
it's going to be like a slapstick Tomb Raider all of a sudden or something weird.
Maybe not that. She's pretty good at doing dramatic storylines, but I think she came from the SNL pipeline. So
interesting.
That's where most of her experience is.
Interesting. And now she's going to be on Tomb Raider.
I don't think she's acting in it.
I'm working on Tomb Raider. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, that's pretty much all the new releases from this week. You got Civ 7 and Tomb Raider 4 through 6 remastered. You got a $30 video game there for Tomb Raider 4 through 6. So if you're not into spending $70, you can spend a little less on that one. Or, just buy a different game entirely. So there you go. All right. That's all the new releases. Let's get into some of the news that came out this week. First things first, we had kind of a big thing-a-lang yesterday going down. We had a PlayStation State of Play. Now, did y'all watch this at all? I know you did, Noah, right?
I actually did not.
Oh, well, never mind. I'm a liar. Okay,
I did not.
Me.
I just was keeping up to date because I was on the clock. I did not have time to do it, unfortunately. Okay. And I didn't go back and rewatch it, but that's because I just looked at articles and things like that.
Gotcha.
I watched highlights.
Nice.
Did you?
Yeah, I didn't watch the whole thing.
Cool. I watched the whole thing after.
Oh, nice.
Like a big dumb idiot. I could have just.
Who has that kind of time?
Yeah, exactly. I could have just watched highlights, but whatever. Okay, so we'll do some big takeaways from it. We're not going to go through every single thing. But first big thing, Borderlands 4 got a new gameplay trailer. It looks pretty good, I think. and it did get a release date, which I will look up here in a second. But what did y'all think of the Borderlands 4 gameplay? Did y'all see it at all?
I'm really interested to see this game because of how bad the movie failed.
Yes.
And so I'm really like the movie just wow. And so I'm really interested to see, like, are they going to take any aspects of the movie? Are they going to just completely be like, that didn't happen and we're just going to do this now? Look at this nice new shiny thing.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering just like how, because Borderlands 4 is like huge, like obviously. So I saw the trailer and I was like, interesting. I wonder where this is going to land in the universe of Borderlands. So I thought that was kind of cool.
If I was a betting man, I would bet that they're going to ignore the movie entirely and just move on completely.
I hope so. That's just better for everybody involved.
I think we just pretend it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Noah, what'd you think?
It looks interesting. I'm a little hit or miss on the Borderlands on the most recent games, so I'm gonna have to wait till I get my hands on it, I think.
Yeah.
I am optimistic about it though.
Yeah,
I like
too.
the Borderlands titles. Borderlands pre-sequel, Borderlands 2, I really liked. Borderlands 3 was a miss for me, but hopefully they can return to form with this one.
Yeah. I like Borderlands 2 a lot. I like the pre-sequel as well. So I'm excited about Borderlands 4. We did get a release date, September 23rd, 2025. So look out for that in September. But yeah, I'm excited for Borderlands 4. I really liked Borderlands 2 a lot, like I said. I think it's got really fun gameplay, really fun writing. When Borderlands 2 came out in 2011, every game wanted to have that exact same comedy script, I swear. And then James Gunn came out with Guardians of the Galaxy, and every movie wanted to do that script. And now they're kind of like, everyone's sick of it, and then now we get Concord, and people are like, okay.
I never put that together.
Yeah.
That's actually brilliant.
100%. Yeah. So Borderlands 2 is responsible for a lot of pop culture. You just might not know about it. But yeah, there you go. So yeah, I'm excited for Borderlands 4. So, but we'll wait and see. The trailer was just some kind of generic Borderlands gameplay, I guess. It wasn't really anything crazy. It did look pretty good, though. I thought it looked really smooth. It's a trailer. Of course, it's going to look smooth, so we'll wait and see. But yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic about it.
Same.
The last one's been a miss, but yeah, Ariel, any final thoughts on Borderlands 4?
I think you hit the mark. I think
Nice.
I'm optimistic. Borderlands 3 was really disappointing in my opinion, especially for how great Borderlands 2 was. And like I said, my only worry is that because of how bad the movie was, that it's going to make people who might have been really, really excited not so excited anymore, and it will take people away from the game. So I'm optimistic but a little weary.
Yeah, hopefully people kind of take the movie with a grain of salt, like me. I think most fans of the game didn't even consider the movie at all. So I think hopefully we'll be safe.
I mean, I
there.
think only my calculators. I think 10 people saw it worldwide.
I mean, hey, that's double digits, man. Double digits.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a network, baby.
That's
you
a
go.
whole Reddit post.
That's a whole row in the theater.
Right.
So
yeah, there you go. Good stuff. All right, well, that's Borderlands 4. Next thing that came out in the PlayStation State of Play yesterday, from Supermassive Games, the developers behind Until Dawn and The Quarry, and I know you're excited about this, Ariel. Directive 8020 looks like kind of a Alien type, the movie Alien kind of horror space game. Looks really interesting, and these guys are really good at making these types of games. So Ariel, any thoughts? You look like you got something to say.
I love the Until Dawn games.
Nice.
I love the makers of the Until Dawn games. I'm excited for the movie of the Until Dawn. I've played all of like the smaller games that they have like in the same universe. I'm excited for the Alien version of these. I think it looks amazing. I'm getting really excited. My face is getting red because it's just how excited I am. I think it's going to be amazing because I think every game has been a hit. Even their smaller ones where it's only like maybe like an hour and a half of game. The story is always really good, and all of the choices that you get to make. I've yet to once play a game where I didn't kill every single person by the last choice.
There you go.
Somehow I end up keeping most of them alive until almost the very last decision, and then I kill all of them.
Rats.
So I personally am very, very excited for the movie. A lot of people are very hesitant.
I was gonna ask about that because I was like,
It looks so good. What do you mean? I think the whole like choose your own thing that's happening now, because I think that's more of a popular thing, especially it's happening in video games, it's happening in books now too.
Yeah.
Choose your own adventure. And I think it really started with Until Dawn because it was just such a massively performing game. I'm very, very, very excited. I was very excited when they dropped this. So what are y'all's thoughts?
Nice. Noah?
It looks very interesting. I was a fan of Until Dawn. I haven't played their other games. I haven't branched out enough. But my younger brother, huge fan of everything in the Until Dawn universe. He kind of had like the opposite reaction to the movie. He was kind of like, this kind of looks like a generic horror movie, and they're just slapping the name onto it.
What?
So
I'm hurt.
that's just what I've heard. But Directive 8020, very excited for this. I'm a huge sucker for sci-fi. I love sci-fi. I'm a big fan of that over fantasy usually. So I'm really excited to see what this creative team does with that because their character work is phenomenal. Some of the best in the industry. It reminds me a lot of the Telltale games when it comes to making choices and characters that you care about. So
they also have great soundtracks.
Oh yeah,
like the Telltale games always have phenomenal soundtracks and great voice actors.
Yes,
like
just great production in general.
Great. They're just great games. I just can't stop talking about them.
This one, Directive 8020, is going to be starring Lashana Lynch.
Really?
Who was in Captain Marvel, if you remember.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah.
Well, she was also in James Bond, right?
Yeah, she was.
No Time to Die?
I think so. Yeah, yeah.
008.
That's right. Yeah.
Or no, she took over 007 when James Bond retired. Right?
Yes.
Very cool. Yeah, super excited for that. That's gonna be awesome. Did we have a release date on that, or they just dropped?
October 2nd, 2025.
Ooh,
there you
I
go.
will be there.
Spooky season.
There you go. Yeah, right.
Spooky season. The great choice.
And this one is part of the Dark Pictures anthology, actually. So like, what is it? Madame Medan and Devil in Me.
Yeah,
and
their
all
anthology
those.
series hits. It's phenomenal.
Good stuff. Yeah. So I guess this is in the same universe as that. So there you go. So pretty interesting.
Awesome.
See how they tie that together. That looks pretty cool. But yeah, I think the trailer looks really interesting. I got super, alien vibes for sure. Really creepy. Looks really good.
Dare I say the greatest horror movie ever made?
Alien, the first one?
I think so.
That's a hot take.
It's a hot take, but I'm gonna
That
say
came out of nowhere.
it did. I just had to drop it.
And I'm inclined to
Disagree?
Now, hold on. Let me just tell you my favorite horror movie.
Okay.
My favorite horror movie is Halloween. I think it's fantastic. I think it's a fantastic horror movie. So that's the vibe I like in horror movies. That's,
fair enough. That's fair enough.
So that's,
I would say my favorite horror movie is Thanksgiving, which is a horror movie based on the holiday Thanksgiving.
Okay.
And it has the guy who played Derek Shepherd in Grey's Anatomy. And it's on Netflix, I believe, and it's horrendous. It is, when I say that it's like 2 hours of, oh my goodness, you should watch it.
Thanksgiving, really?
Yeah, it's because there's a horror movie based on everything, right? Like Christmas, Valentine's Day, Halloween. So some guy was like, I want to make one on Thanksgiving, and he does, and it's wild.
I have another one for you.
Okay.
Have you heard of Thanksgiving?
No.
All right, well, you need to watch that one.
Which one's that on?
You're gonna get some Cody lore.
Oh, here we
All
go.
All right,
Here we
drop
go.
it.
Back in my youths, when I had my first apartment, I used to do a lot of recreational activities that aren't allowed, and I used to watch that.
Just that movie?
Just that one over and over again?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. But
That's some interesting lore there.
Thanksgiving is a really it's like a super C tier horror movie about a turkey that gets possessed on Thanksgiving and is really vulgar and kills a bunch of teenagers.
I'm actually gonna write that down.
It's the most amazing C tier horror movie I've ever seen in my life.
Thank you for that, Cody.
Thanksgiving. There's Thanksgiving and there's a sequel called Thanksgiving 3. That's right, 3. They skipped over 2. It's that good. That's right.
Okay, that's pretty funny. I like that.
But yeah, so it's very self-aware. Like we know this isn't very good. Yeah, but yeah, it's really good. But yeah, you kind of have to be in that mindset to enjoy that movie. So that's why I mentioned it. But yeah,
I see.
Yeah, it was a fun time for me. But yeah, definitely check out Thanksgiving if you're into horror movies.
Absolutely.
But Alien, the best horror movie of all time.
Mm-hmm.
That's a hot take.
I
firmly disagree.
I don't think it's that hot.
I don't think it's that hot.
I will talk about this for hours.
Okay, we'll move on.
I disagree.
In space, no one can hear you complain. All right. All right. Next one from the PlayStation State of Play. Onimusha. I think it's Onimusha Way of the Samurai. Got a new gameplay trailer. I thought it looked really cool, actually. I don't know if you guys saw this.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah. Onimusha is kind of an older series.
Okay.
I am not super familiar with it, but it came out like during my gaming heyday on the PS2 and stuff. But it's just one I kind of missed, even though I was a PS2 kid. I always remembered Onimusha 3 had, what's that actor's name? Jean Reno on the cover. The guy from what's that movie? Leon the Professional.
Oh,
yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That's a deep cut movie.
Yeah, so he starred in that game in Onimusha 3. So that was like super cool back then to like see him on a game. Like that was pretty cool. But the trailer for Onimusha from the State of Play looked really, really cool, I thought. It looked really smooth. The sword play looked interesting.
Is it like third person action RPG?
It looks like a third person. People describe it as, it's made by Capcom, so people describe it as like a samurai Resident Evil, because I guess there's zombies in it or something.
That's so funny. That's exactly how my husband described it.
Really?
Because I was like, I've never seen this, and he's like, all right, so it looks like this, and that was literally word for word.
There you go. Yeah. So apparently it's Samurai Resident Evil from more than one source.
All right.
Yeah, but I thought it looked really cool. What did you guys? Noah, you didn't see it. Aryle, did you see this one?
I didn't see it either.
Well, the sword play looked like intentional, and it looks like the sword has some weight to it. You know what I mean? And like there's a lot of parry gameplay.
Okay.
A lot of parrying,
cool.
and like, let me try and describe this well. It was a lot of parry and deflect, and the deflecting looked very like player controlled and intentional. You know what I mean? It looked like
interesting.
It
like
looked
almost
like,
similar to For Honor, where you can like manipulate.
Sort of. Yeah, kind of. I know what you're getting at.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got kind of that vibe a little bit. Like you had a little bit more control than you might be used to in an action game.
Okay. So
now
skill gap there.
That's
maybe.
just the vibe I got. I don't know if that's true, but it definitely looked like someone was putting in an input and then did a different move, and that kind of thing. So watch the trailer, make your own interpretation, but that's what I thought. But all in all, it looked really good. The graphics look incredible because it's Capcom and they make very pretty games. But yeah, I'm pretty excited about this one, actually. That trailer kind of sold me on it. It looked really, really cool, I thought. So there you go. I might be a new Onimusha fan. So
okay.
There you go. I think that's all we got for Onimusha. Moving on here. Next one in the PlayStation State of Play, we got a new Metal Gear Solid Delta trailer. So that's the Metal Gear Solid 3 remake that Konami is making. I am not a huge Metal Gear guy, so I wasn't, waiting with bated breath for this one like everyone else was.
Yeah.
But I will say, Konami just remade Silent Hill 2, and it was pretty good.
So good.
Yes. So now I'm pretty excited for the Metal Gear Solid Delta remake.
Interesting.
The trailer looked really good.
The trailer looked like a movie.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. It was very cinematic.
Were insane.
Oh yeah, really, really good looking. It's a cinematic trailer from a remade game. So it's like, okay, like we already kind of know what's going
What's
on
happening.
here. Yeah, but it looked pretty, and I guess that was the point, to show us how pretty it looked. Noah, did you see the trailer for this one?
I'm not really like you said, I'm not a Metal Gear Solid fan as well. Haven't played anything in the franchise. I know how influential it is, but I just haven't dove into it. So I'm not that interested in a remake of Metal Gear Solid 3. But the fact that it's by the same, dev team that made Silent Hill 2 remake, which was, got rave reviews all last year. I think that's good for fans of the franchise, because I know they're probably a little worried that Kojima's baby is being messed with. So,
yeah.
Hopefully they can find some solace in the fact that, hey, their last remake was, really well executed. So hopefully they continue that with this.
I do think that adds like a little bit of a layer to it, because they have to do a good job, because if they fail, that's it.
You're going to lose a lot of trust.
Yeah, like people are not going to, exactly. People just want to trust them again. So I just think that just adds a layer to it that I think is interesting.
Yeah, people are already upset of their mishandling of Metal Gear, because Kojima left, and whenever Metal Gear Solid 5 came out, and never looked back, has not looked back, is never going to come back to Konami. So now this is like the last kind of Metal Gear thing we're probably ever going to get for a while, unless they, do more remakes and stuff.
They might, if this performs well.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, so like I said, I'm kind of optimistic about Metal Gear now that I've seen like Silent Hill perform pretty well. So yeah, but we'll have to see. We still don't have a hard release date for that, but it's supposed to come out this year, 2025.
Okay.
So we'll see later on in the year. Here's the next thing. Noah, I know you were excited about this. Lies of P DLC. Made it rhyme anytime.
Oh, yeah.
That looked pretty cool, actually. I played the Lies of P demo when it came out. It was like a Souls-like, but you play as Pinocchio.
Yes.
Yeah, it reminded me of Bloodborne.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. There you go. Bloodborne, but you play as Pinocchio. Boom. So they're coming out with a DLC. Not sure if we got a release date for it, but yeah, it looks pretty cool.
They just said summer.
Just summer.
Just
okay,
summer
this year.
2025.
Gotcha.
So no official release date yet.
Gotcha. Okay, so yeah, it looks like they were showing off some new weapons, that kind of thing. You know, the normal type of DLC you see in an action game, that kind of stuff. But yeah, Noah, are you a Lies of P guy?
So yeah, it's probably one of the best third-party Souls-like games I've seen in a while. The title of this DLC is called Overture, so really cool branding there. But the world building in Lies of P is, I think, second to none. Really, really interesting dynamics that you have there. Just a nice twist on the Pinocchio story and how you fight your way through combat with the different enemy types and boss battles. It's just a really well-made game. You can tell there's a lot of love and effort put into like the design, the music, the animations. So really happy to see that they're getting a DLC. I think that means that they've probably received enough success from the main title's release that they're able to put more into it. So really excited to see what comes of this. Trailer looked really good. The vibes, like you said, Bloodborne, if you're into the Bloodborne vibes, we're probably not getting a remake anytime soon. So Lies of P is probably going to be your best bet if you want to scratch that itch.
Nice. Ariel, any thoughts on Lies of P?
I don't play these games, and I don't really play Souls games in general. I like watching, playing the Souls games, but they are so hard. And my favorite game's Pikachu. So obviously, I'm not really into super hard games, but I like playing. I like watching people play them because they're just so pretty and the music's so good. So I just think it looks really pretty and cool. So
yeah, I always get FOMO with Souls games because I'm like, I wish I was good enough to play this game because the lore seems really interesting.
It's so cool. Like the story is so cool. I want to know more about it. But as soon as I hit like a boss I'm done.
Yeah.
I was like, this is hard.
I tried Elden Ring. I played maybe 5 hours of Elden Ring, just beating my head against the wall. And that's like the easiest one. I've heard, Noah, you might have some thoughts on this, but I heard if you're trying to get into Souls-like games and you don't want to jump right into Dark Souls or, something like that, or Elden Ring because it's too hard, try Jedi Survivor.
I would agree with that statement.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, very similar. It's like a light version of the Souls-like.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Stuff.
Yeah.
I like watching Dunk Souls, like on YouTube. Thank you, Dark Souls. Like those are my favorite videos. So
Nice.
I'm like, okay, that one makes sense to me.
There you go. All right, well, that's the Lies of P DLC. Made it rhyme anytime. All right, we got 2 more stories from the PlayStation State of Play. First one is, great. We got a Days Gone remaster.
Yes!
Yeah.
Yes!
Said the one person in the world.
That's me!
Are you serious? Do you really want this?
I'm actually so my for this.
What?
This is just for you.
Goodness.
It's just
me.
There you go,
you.
buddy.
This
Here
is
you
the
go.
only headline I saw. I said, yes!
Oh my goodness. All right, so Days Gone is like a zombie biker game. Basically, if you're Norman Reedus' character from The Walking Dead.
Underrated zombie horde game. It's forgotten in the winds because it was a PlayStation exclusive, but this is going to bring it to the masses and people will understand its greatness. I'm exaggerating a little bit. It actually is a really fun game. I do like the story. This came out of nowhere. I did not think that we were getting a Days Gone remaster.
This was rumored for a while.
Was it?
It was rumored as a remake for a while too.
I see.
Yeah, it was. But same reaction I'm having now is when I heard it the first time. I was like, why? Oh man, why are we remastering so many?
Because the original was not good.
Ooh,
That's why.
Ooh. Ding,
You gotta
ding.
upgrade your motorcycle and drive it around with zombies.
Because that's why you want to play a zombie game, to update your motorcycle.
Ooh.
It's cool. What do you mean?
That is kind of cool.
It's super cool.
Okay,
And you gotta scavenge.
zombies are
and things
cool.
like that.
Motorcycles are cool. I mean,
Guns. Corrupt government.
of all the things to get mad at, having a motorcycle is not the thing.
Let me have my motorcycle.
Well, I've never played Days Gone. It's been sitting in my PlayStation library for 10 years or however long
Where
the
it
game's
should
been
stay.
No, you gotta give it a shot.
I mean,
I really like the horde system in that game. Where like if you mess up in your stealth, you're overrun. It's
Nice.
so debilitating.
yeah, I don't really know much about it.
Listen.
I think this is their chance for it to maybe be something that can be playable.
If you can, if you
Wow.
can bring up Let's Go Pikachu,
It's a great game.
I get to have
You do
Days
not
Gone.
get to come for Let's
Okay.
Go Pikachu. Okay.
I'm not coming at it. I'm just saying.
What are you guys doing after this? You guys want to get ice cream or something?
Not at all. I'm gonna play Days Gone.
Nice.
I'm gonna play Let's Go Pikachu.
I'm gonna play Days Gone. You're gonna leave me alone. All right. Well, yeah. So there's a Days Gone remaster. It was confirmed. Yeah, it was rumored for a long time. You know, I didn't play Days Gone. Sorry, Noah. It's been sitting in my library, like I said. But you know, so that's out there if you're into it, like Noah. So there you go. That's for you. All right. Last story from the PlayStation State of Play. Forgive me for pronouncing this wrong. Saros or Saros?
I think you're right.
Saros?
I think so.
Saros. We'll say Saros. We're going to say Saros. All right. So Saros is a new game from Housemarque Studios, the studio behind Returnal.
Yep.
This looked really cool, actually. I don't know if you saw this one. Ariel, did you see
I
this
know
one?
nothing about this.
You know, I had the same reaction when I saw the Returnal
Okay, cool.
trailer and release. I'm like, oh, that game looks really cool. Reminds me of Prey. Big vibes. Really cool aesthetic. And then I never played it. And I didn't hear anything about it.
Nice.
So I was like, okay, so probably a lot of people didn't play it. I'm getting the same vibe from this one.
Okay.
Super cool aesthetic, cool animations. Love the world building that they're going for here. Don't know if I'm gonna play it.
Mhm.
I'm gonna have to wait and see.
Yeah, you're gonna have to wait and see. I've seen a lot of gameplay of Returnal. Definitely a niche genre.
Right.
It's like if you've ever played like a twin stick shooter, like on an arcade, you know, it's like that, but
Yeah.
if it were a third person shooter.
Yeah,
you know what
I
I'm
can
saying?
see that.
So it's like a bullet hell kind of like you're avoiding all these projectiles all over the place. But it's and it's a roguelike. So it's like a really interesting concept and like gameplay. And the gameplay looks really cool. It looks really pretty. They got like a PS5 remaster for it
Yep.
when it came out. That looked really, really good. It won a bunch of Game of the Years too. I think it came out in 2021. It won a bunch of like different Game of the Years. It didn't win the big one. The big one was It Takes Two.
That's a great game.
It is a great
Don't
game.
roll your eyes
but
at It Takes Two.
I like It Takes Two. I didn't.
great game.
I
It
didn't
is
say I
pretty
don't
good.
like it. I didn't say I don't like it. Not sure how it beat Returnal. Because Returnal people really liked it. But yeah, so Saros is it's kind of the follow up to Returnal. Yeah, all we got was like a cinematic trailer.
Is it a sequel? Or I thought it's a new IP, right?
Yeah, it's new.
Okay.
It's not a sequel. It's like it's the next game from them.
From them.
Yeah, and I think Returnal's the only. No, Returnal's not the only game they made. Returnal's the biggest game
Yes,
they
I
made. Yeah,
believe
but they
that's
made a whole bunch of like little games before. But yeah, it looks pretty cool. It was just a cinematic, so we really don't know.
I'll wait for gameplay.
Yeah, but if you know Returnal, you kind of know what to expect. So,
Same vibe.
yeah, watch some Returnal gameplay. You'll kind of understand Saros gameplay. But I'm excited to see some more from this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ariel, any thoughts?
I know nothing of this. I'm sorry.
Nice.
I didn't watch it. I know nothing of it. I didn't even know how to pronounce it until you said something.
I'm not
I'm
sure
not
either.
sure that's
still.
right, so-
I'm not sure. Well, I mean, it was just a cinematic trailer. You didn't really miss anything.
Very niche as well.
Yeah, so there you go. But that's it from the PlayStation State of Play. Pretty good state of play, I thought.
It was.
A lot
Yeah.
of stuff. A lot
I was
of
impressed.
stuff. That's not even everything. I just covered the big stuff. But there was a bunch of like little games. There was like a Digimon game. I don't know if you guys saw that.
I did not see
There's like a Digimon game that looked really weird and interesting. So-
until they drop another Sly Cooper, I just can't do it. Just
Thank
want
you.
another Sly Cooper.
Nice.
That'd be amazing.
My son we've been playing Astrobot.
Oh, that game is so fun.
It is fun.
That gives you way like PS2 vibes, but
Yeah,
just better.
for
It's
sure.
so fun.
So you can like customize your Astrobot. And
Yes.
So he was obsessed with putting him in the Sly Cooper outfit
That's
for a while.
adorable.
So
Awesome.
There you go. Yeah, it's a cute little raccoon outfit. That's fun. Yeah. All right. So that's PlayStation State of Play. Speaking of PlayStation, we had some news about PlayStation.
This was crazy.
Yeah. We had a PlayStation Network outage happen this week. An unknown network outage caused the PlayStation Network to be down for over 24 hours. It was about 25 hours, all told. So PlayStation is giving users 5 free days of PlayStation Network. Yay!
Oh, boy.
my goodness! Yay!
Wow.
Noah, this is
Yes.
not the first time this has happened. Now, is it, Noah? No,
Not at
it's
all.
not. No, it's not.
Not at all.
this has happened so many times with Sony in particular. And the one worry that I have every time this happens, especially with Sony, is data breach. Now, apparently there wasn't any data breach in this in particular. This wasn't a hack in any way, apparently. It was just a technical issue.
Interesting.
So people shouldn't like worry. I would still maybe change your password.
That's what I would recommend,
because
just in case.
This has happened so many times with PlayStation Network, and most of the time when a big thing like this happens with PlayStation Network, people's data is affected.
Leaked.
So yeah, or people's stuff
Stolen.
is leaked in some way. There was a really big one in 2011 that happened.
I remember
PlayStation
that one.
Network. There was a really big one like 3-4 years later. So it's like every 3-4 years you're gonna get a PlayStation Network outage. That's like really bad. So yeah, there you go. It happened again. That's basically it. It's done now. I didn't even notice because I wasn't on PlayStation Network at the time, and I saw everyone being very angry on Twitter because it happened on a Friday evening.
It was.
How dare they?
Yeah,
It literally happened like 4:30 p.m.
On
Yikes.
my weekend?
Exactly. Yikes.
It was tough.
Yeah. Ariel, are you a PlayStation gamer at all? Does this
I
affect
love
you?
PlayStation.
Nice.
But I did not notice the outage because I don't know. I just didn't notice, but I do think
you
the
have a
whole
life.
I have a life. You know, the 5 free days of PlayStation Plus is pretty cool. I didn't think it was that big of a deal, but I'm also not a hardcore like, I gotta get on my game and stuff. So that was just kind of it. And I was like, all right, cool. 5 days free access. Sounds great.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I think so. The network being down for me was not a huge deal. I think the big thing is this has happened so many freaking times with Sony, and their network is just so bad.
Did they give like a reason? Like, did it get overwhelmed? Were they hacked?
They just said technical issues.
Oh, okay.
I can pull up the quote here in a minute, but they didn't give specifics. But
Okay.
they said it was not a hack. Like,
Another thing people are upset about was the lack of communication because it went down, and then about an hour after it went down, Sony announced that they're like, hey, we acknowledge that it's down. We're working on it. And then we didn't get any other sort of information or update until after it was back up.
Oh,
so
really?
for about 20 plus hours, it was radio silent.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, I would have found that pretty annoying too.
So yeah, people were looking for answers like when can we expect it, or like was it a breach, like what's going on, and they really didn't give any answers until.
And they didn't give any answers after it came back up, like
not reasons.
barely.
Just- okay.
They gave the media trained answer basically.
We didn't really get any specifics
Dang.
or
They delivered the
transparency.
important stuff. This wasn't a breach. That
And I didn't know that it was something that happened often. I thought this was kind of like a one-time thing.
No,
so, all right.
it's with Sony.
Okay, I
for
understand
some
a little
reason.
bit more
It's a
of
troubling
of the
pattern
outrage.
of behavior. Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of, this kind of made everyone stop and be like, all right, Sony, what's going on here?
What are we doing?
Whoa, no.
Sony,
Whoa.
what's going on? Yeah, so there you go. That's PSN outage.
Speaking of PlayStation, they were in the news for a different reason. Last weekend, I don't know if you all saw, it was the Super Bowl. And during the Super Bowl halftime show, part of the choreography and stage design were the PlayStation symbols. The square, triangles, circle, and X.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
And then at the end of Kendrick Lamar's performance, it said "Game Over." Obviously,
I didn't even put that together.
Also,
obviously in his response to Drake's beef.
So I'm not a huge. I'm like a super. I'm a Texans fan, so I didn't watch the Super Bowl. Sorry, I'm a little salty. But I heard Kendrick Lamar put the PlayStation logos on there because he put in a cheat code of some kind from Grand Theft Auto. There's some sort of cheat code involved in the performance.
I do not.
How much symbolism was in his performance? That wouldn't surprise me.
Could be.
Let's look it up. Kendrick Lamar, Grand Theft Auto. Okay, yeah. Here's Kendrick Lamar referenced PlayStation in the Super Bowl. Yeah, there you go.
I don't remember seeing any because it was part of the stage. The stage was designed with those symbols. So unless the dancers were doing
this
something,
might just be a Reddit theory or
might
something.
be a bit of a reach.
Okay. Yeah, I think I just
but the
read
rest of the
something
performance
about it.
had so much symbolism and
So
allegory
good.
built into
Yeah.
it. So, I wouldn't put it
cool.
past it.
Yeah, my wife watched it and she was like obsessed with it now. She's a huge Kendrick Lamar fan.
I needed subtitles, but other than that, fantastic.
Yeah, not sure
fantastic.
what was going on with the audio engineering there. It felt like they turned down the crowd noise as well, only on certain parts. Maybe that's because they knew people would be singing along, and like he changed the lyrics so that way, N-word wasn't on live television.
Yeah, I can-
and things like that. So maybe that's why they did it, but it basically sounded like just him talking, which was unfortunate. Until SZA showed up, which stole the show, obviously.
Crazy.
Well, there you go. Speaking of football, let's talk
Hey,
about a
that was a
different
good
kind of.
Segue.
different kind of football. There
we
you
do
go.
this.
Yeah, we're professionals. Yeah. All right. Speaking of football, different kind of football here. Football Manager, the very, very popular series, their newest iteration, Football Manager 25, has been canceled, unfortunately. So sorry to all you Football Manager fans. Canceled. Apparently, after the developer tried to move from their normal engine called Match Engine to Unity. So
Interesting.
They said they were trying to move to Unity, and basically they said they just couldn't figure it out, and it was taking too long. So their 2026 release is still planned. But yeah, I guess they just needed more time to get used to the engine. So I'm not a Football Manager guy. Are you guys at all? No, not Football Manager people.
No.
You guys don't like to manage your footballs. Like to just have them going wherever. You know?
I mean, I do. I'm a fan of that mode in Madden.
Yeah,
and college football.
Might as well just do that. Yeah.
But I don't watch soccer or follow it at all.
This is soccer, everybody. Sorry.
Yes.
This is
it's soccer?
European football.
I really thought it was football.
No. I should have clarified.
I was like, no, not really.
No. This, So this is it's European Football Manager.
Yeah, and it's also not. It's not FIFA. It's not Football Club.
Mm-mm.
This is just Football Manager. All you do is manage the team. You don't actually play.
It's a
soccer.
simulator. It's a simulator of like if you
GM.
really want to be a manager.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's really popular among the people that like that, right?
I mean, it's football nerds. We're talking like you negotiate contracts. You're trading players. You're making deals, sponsorships. It's
Are you wanting to buy this yet?
Yeah.
Oh my god!
So it's like role play, but for like soccer.
It's a simulator. It's like spreadsheets straight up. There's another one called Out of the Park Baseball. It's the same thing, but it's baseball.
You want to do paperwork as a video game?
Some people do.
That's
but you
interesting.
Own the team.
There's train simulators, plane simulators,
farming simulators,
car
each
simulators.
Their own. Their own.
Now there's a soccer simulator.
Well, there was.
There was. There was for 2025. Now it's canceled. But they say the 2026 release is still planned.
Oh,
so,
okay.
There you go. I guess they just need more time to move engines. I don't know really the specifics. But yeah, there you go. Sorry, football fans.
Sorry.
Gonna have to wait a year to get another Football Manager.
And by football, they mean soccer.
By football, I mean soccer. Go throw some tea in the harbor and think about it. All right. All right. Last news story here. Sorry to end it on a down note, but we got some layoffs to talk about. Hi-Rez they have laid off about 70 people across several of their studios. This is the parent company that owns the studio behind Smite and Smite 2. They also do Paladins and Rogue Company, I think is the other game. So they have laid off about 70 people across a few of their studios. The reason they gave is that they want to focus on Smite 2, which is their newest IP, or not IP, but newest sequel to Smite. Their big kind of esports. It's a MOBA, right? Yeah, it's a MOBA.
It's a MOBA,
but it's like a third-person MOBA, so it's kind of cool. I played it a little bit actually. It's kind of fun. So sad to see. That's basically it. 70 people have lost their jobs, unfortunately. There we go.
Yeah, this was a brutal one. This is also a local development studio for us. They're stationed out of Atlanta. They actually fired pretty much almost everybody in part of their esports division as well.
Jeez.
So like all their commentators, broadcasters, things like that, which sucks because Smite does have a pretty significant pro league. And all the players that are now trying to compete in Smite 2, they're kind of like, I don't know if the future is really volatile right now because this was a really, really big shakeup because they're a small studio already. So 70, I mean, this is a large portion. I think over half of their employee base is now gone.
Jeez.
I played Rogue Company as well. That unfortunately died off rather quickly, but I was actually a really big fan of it. It's a third person like team shooter. I thought it was really fun. They had some cool design choices in there, but it just didn't really catch on. Paladins was also pretty much dead after Overwatch.
I heard Paladins had a pretty good following when it came out though.
It did. A little bit. Yeah, it was around for a little bit, but it's just sad to see. It's another watermark in the industry. But we can drop some good news right before we end it here. There was the Overwatch 2 spotlight. I don't know if you saw that. So Overwatch 2 has felt the heat from Marvel Rivals significantly.
Okay.
And they responded with a big haymaker. Speaking of Marvel Rivals, by the way, big mini segue. They're also introducing the rest of Fantastic Four, the Thing and Human Torch, I believe February 21st.
Nice.
So you'll be able to play as
Heck
all
yeah.
of Fantastic Four by February 21st. Back to Overwatch 2. With the new season, they announced the new hero that's coming out, new game mode, new esports support, new cosmetics, and they added this whole new system in the game called perks. So now within a match, you will level up your character. You'll choose from 2 different perks, and it'll happen twice. And they basically will change the way your hero plays during the match. Very similar if you watch Apex Legends to when you level up your Evo Shield, you get to access different parts of your character. Same thing here. I believe it's just tied to game time though. Like once you're 10 minutes in the match, you gain access to the first perk, and then after however long you get access to the second perk. That's going to really, really change the dynamics of the game. So that's a really big change. But you can check it out on their YouTube channel. Blizzard posted it. Overwatch 2 Spotlight. Tons of new content and characters and game modes that they're adding, as well as a rank reset, everything like that. So competition works again, everybody.
Good stuff.
Good to see.
We were hoping this is what would happen,
Yeah.
really, out of Marvel Rivals. Even if Marvel Rivals wasn't very good, we were like, well, maybe this will kind of make Overwatch do something at the very least.
They're doing a lot. I was impressed. A lot of good changes in quality of life stuff that you would think would already be in the game, like charms for like your ranked placements. I guess that wasn't a thing, so they just announced that as like a reward for participating in your ranked season now. And I was like, I feel like that's pretty standard, but interesting. Okay. Yeah, so you can take a look at it. There's more specifics on there. And then one last thing as well, there was also the announcement for Splitgate 2 early open alpha, I believe. I'm forgetting the date on that specifically, but that was announced over the week as well. So that'll be dropping here relatively soon. I believe it's within the next month, February or March.
February 27th.
27th. Oh,
that's so soon.
I think that's the same day as Monster Hunter Wilds is out.
When does Monster
I think
Hunter
that's the
Wilds
27th or 28th, if I'm not mistaken.
It's definitely the end of this month. 28th.
28th.
Correct.
All
There
right.
you go. We'll talk
Busy
about it when it
week.
comes out. Don't worry.
All right.
Avowed next week, right? Oh, look at you. Look at him.
Look at that
I'm
smile.
so
him. Look at-
excited. But
There
if
he
that
is.
one is, I don't think I
We're
thought
already a little disappointed in Civ. So.
I am. I probably won't be purchasing that for a while. Avowed. I think I'm confident.
You
It
got
looks
Game
good.
Pass?
I do.
No, you don't even need to buy it.
Don't even need
There
to buy
you
it.
go. Look at that.
That's what I play my Maddens on, because I don't want to
Yeah,
pay
there you go.
$70 for Madden.
Your Madden's is.
Yep.
Yeah. What's he got in his pockets is Madden's is. Dynasty modes is. Anyway, I think that's all we got.
That's all we got.
Do we have anything going on with esports before we go?
We do. So now that I'm officially on board here as the esports coordinator, we are doing live broadcasts every weekend unless matches get rescheduled. So this Saturday, after this goes up, or when this episode goes up, we will be playing League of Legends, our Peach Belt Conference match, and our Apex Legends Octane Collegiate match. League of Legends will be Saturday, 2 p.m. Apex Legends will be Saturday, 6 p.m. And then we have Valorant matches on Sunday at 8 p.m. So those are what you can look forward to this weekend. We also will be having our Rocket League actually has a bye week. I'm sorry. So no Rocket League this week. But those will be on our Twitch channel, Augusta University _esports. And we will be introducing the new production room setup and my new co-host as well for the semester. So a lot of big changes. There might be a few hiccups with the first few productions, but we'll learn as we go. It's going to be very exciting. I can't wait to support these. This will be the first time League or Apex has ever been broadcasted on our Twitch channel. So really excited to get those rosters the spotlight that they deserve.
Good stuff. Yeah, definitely check those out when the
Yes.
time comes. Ariel, any parting words of wisdom to all the gamers out there before we go?
Don't play Days of Gone.
I knew it.
Don't play it. Thanks so much for having me. This was really fun. I really hope that because the new Sucker Punch is coming out with a new game, I really, really, really hope for a new Sly game. I really hope the new generation of Sly games, new generation of Sly Cooper will get the new generation.
Hope so. We
Fingers
got to get
crossed.
Ghost of Yote first, though. So there you go.
But-
Oh, darn. Got to get Ghost of
But-
Yote.
New infamous when.
But this was
Yeah.
great. Thank you guys so much for having me. I love talking about this stuff. So
You're
I
welcome.
appreciate being asked.
Of course, we have to come back next time. All right. Well, from all of us here at the Gamer Guild Podcast, it's been fun. It's been great. It's been great fun. We'll see you next time.
See you.
The Gamer Guild Podcast is recorded at Augusta University's Pamplin TVC and Podcasting Lab. Our producer is Jackson Garner. The Pamplin TBC and Podcasting Lab supervisor is Jasmine Garcia. Music is by Ethan Balducci. The opinions stated are that of the individual and not Augusta University.